I gotta admit, first 57 minutes of this game, not a fan. Not a fan at all. But the ending, ooh, mwah, delicious. Now, I don't want to alarm anyone. Is your debris making too much noise all the time?
I haven't really prepared for this.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Hawks Recap. My name is Clay. Thank you for tuning in. The Blackhawks just completed their 54th game of their shortened 56-game schedule. And for the first time in a long time, the Blackhawks... Let's hold on. Let's be careful here. It's been a while since I've done this. Don't need to be pulling a muscle here. Everyone else is getting injured. Hawks need me right now. Can't be letting them down here. Plus, who knows when we'll be able to do this again this season. We got 2 games left. There's no guarantee the Hawks win one of those 2 games. So let's make this one special. For the first time in a long time, the Blackhawks get the victory. Final score tonight in overtime, 2-1. Hawks coming into this game riding a 6-game losing streak. Hurricanes doing the opposite, coming into this game on a 12-game point streak. Mrazek in net for the Canes, Delia in net for the Hawks. Both goaltenders played absolutely fantastic tonight. Goal scorers were very frustrated for the majority of this game. A couple other lineup changes for the Hawks. Ian Mitchell, Dylan Strome out of the lineup. In their place, Brett Connolly and Alec Regula making his NHL debut. Hurricanes came out strong in this game. They outshot the Hawks 16-9 in that first period. Thankfully, Delia was on his game tonight. Made a lot of really good saves, especially in that first period. But the Hawks did have their chances in that opening frame as well. Patrick Kane hit a post. Brinkett had a glorious opportunity. He had a couple opportunities in this game where he beat Mrazek, but just the puck bounced on him or just lost control of it and wasn't able to finish. Ultimately, the Hawks did have a power play, their lone power play in that first period. But unfortunately, that's what did them in. Blackhawks dump the puck in, but they can't get to it before the Hurricanes do. Hurricanes ring it around the board, trying to clear it. Puck kind of takes a little bit of a bounce off the boards, goes towards the center of the ice. Duncan Keith falls down, trying to adjust to it. As he gets up, he plants his face right into the ref's knee. And yeah, that can't feel good at all. He's seeing stars for sure. And that leads to a 2-on-0 shorthanded breakaway for the Hurricanes, and Nikas would beat Delia with the backhand, and the Hurricanes, off a really just bad break for the Hawks, take a 1-0 lead. Duncan Keith would end up leaving the game after that, so the Hawks, for the upteenth time this season, would lose a defenseman and play with 5 defensemen for the majority of the game. That's just not ideal, and it's just been such a weird theme this year for the Hawks to do. Colleton confirmed after the game that Duncan Keith does have a concussion. I would be surprised if he plays the remaining 2 games. I think he's probably done for the rest of this season. So the Hurricanes would take a 1-0 lead into the second period, where the Hawks would play much better. They played with a lot more confidence in that middle frame. They seemed to be controlling play a lot more, especially in the first half of that second period. It created some good opportunities, hit a couple additional posts, but ultimately, they just couldn't find a way to beat Mrazek. Super frustrating. As I mentioned, Mrazek played very well in this game along with Delia. But ultimately, neither team would score in that middle frame, so the Hurricanes keep their 1-0 lead heading into the third period. Third period was pretty even between these 2 teams, although the Hurricanes, their biggest priority was pretty much shutting this game down. They have an ungodly record when it comes to them leading after 2 periods. I don't think they've lost in regulation. Now, they're only up 1 goal, so it's not like they're completely turtling or anything. They're still trying to find some offensive zone chances and trying to increase their lead here, but they're probably not pushing as hard as they could be. But Hawks trying to tie this game up. As the period goes on, just getting more and more frustrated because, once again, just like the second period and the first period, just cannot find a way, for whatever reason, to beat Mrazek, and it's looking pretty bleak. Not only that, but during the course of the third period, Brett Connolly would just turn around and run straight into a Hurricanes player, and he would drop down for the count. Just incidental contact. It's not like a Tom Wilson type of thing here. But yeah, Coach Colleton would confirm that he also has a concussion, and so just like Duncan Keith, I would not be surprised if he is done for the remainder of this season. So the Hawks in this third period are down not only a defenseman, but also a forward. So yeah, kind of up against some odds here. A little adversity, if you will. But with 3 minutes left to go in the game, or at least in regulation, the Hawks would overcome that adversity. They would get the puck in deep. Hurricanes would ring it around the boards. This time, Pius Suter is there at the point to corral the puck. He would throw it towards the net. Riley Stillman with the flyby redirects it past Mrazek, and Stillman with his first career NHL goal ties this game up, and we are headed into overtime. Both teams would trade chances early in that overtime period, and then just about 2 minutes in, Blackhawks with the puck. Kubalik drops it for DeBrincat, who picks it up but delays a little bit to let Wyatt Kalynuk get on sides. Then he takes the puck into the offensive zone, one-on-one with the defender, and Alex Mario DeBrincat says, "I'm gonna win," and uses that defender as a screen, snipes it, posting in past Mrazek, and the Hawks complete the comeback and get the victory, finish off their series against the likely President's Trophy winning team tonight on a good note. Hawks win in overtime, 2-1. So a very nice win for the Hawks, although meaningless in the standings. They're still looking to gain some confidence heading into the offseason. A win like this will certainly help. But this win would not have happened if it wasn't for Delia having an absolutely spectacular performance tonight. He's been playing very well since coming back into the lineup. And you might question, where was he, or why wasn't he playing kind of during the middle part of the season? Why did he play at the very beginning of the season and then not again until just recently? That's a good question. And there's probably reasons for it. I mean, obviously we know Lankin and Subban were both playing well, during the course of this season. And, for a while there, the Hawks were probably just content with riding those goaltenders while we were still in a playoff push. They didn't want to, upset, that chemistry. The reason the Hawks lost, I think, was more due to the defense in front of the goaltenders rather than the goaltenders themselves. So, putting in Delia in that situation, maybe they didn't really want to do that, right? If the Hawks weren't in a playoff push at all, maybe he gets more starts during the middle of the year. At the same time, just because Delia is playing well right now doesn't mean that during the month of March and April he was confident and doing well in practices and all that. Like, we don't really know behind the scenes, how he was doing, or how he was practicing, performing, or mentally, what his confidence level was. So you can kind of get in a little bit of a fallacy there where you're thinking, well, just because he's playing great here, he must have been able to then play great, in other parts of the season here where, he didn't get a chance to play. Who knows? That's the point I guess I'm making, is like, we don't know. Who knows why? But he's making the most out of the opportunities he's getting right now, and that's really what ultimately matters. Now we have a couple days off before the Blackhawks' next game, which is Sunday night, which means that tonight's game was the last game of this week. So, therefore, it is time right now for me to award this week's Hawks Recap Blackhawks Player of the Week award. And it's a little bit of a tough one. I thought about giving it to Alex DeBrincat, who is on a 5-game goal streak. He had the game-winning goal tonight. 4 goals in the 3 games this week. But ultimately, you know what? I've decided that this week's Hawks Recap Blackhawk Player of the Week award, it's going to a new winner this week. It's going to Collin Delia, who posted a .939 save percentage in his play this week. 1 win in his 2 starts. Just great to see him playing well. So congratulations to Collin for winning this prestigious and historic award. And with that, I'm going to end this video. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Hawks Recap. I hope you got some sort of enjoyment out of it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate that as always. But most importantly, stay safe, make good decisions, and I'll see you next time.